Emily Spins It. I'm Emily, and our guest today is Aria. Hi, Aria. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming. So you are a lifelong musician based here in New York.
Yep.
You primarily play the violin and guitar as well as singing?
Yes, I haven't played the violin in a long time,
okay.
but it definitely led me to where I am today.
That was your first instrument, right?
First instrument, played for like 15 years, so
Wow.
it definitely is a part of.
Yeah. Who would you say gave you your first break?
In terms of like playing a big show.
Yeah, like where was the first time you maybe felt like, oh, this is like a standout moment in my career as a musician?
Yeah, I feel like there's so many, and I don't think that they all amount to. It just depends on how you define it.
Sure.
Like, I feel like a lot of the times my parents have given me like my big break, just like with finding me resources. But I will say, there was somebody who my dad had met. He's a doctor, and so he had met someone in the hospital who happened to be. He took care of her mom, and she happened to be like really within the music community and helped artists kind of find themselves and that kind of thing.
Wow.
And so being the dad that he is, he was like, yeah, my kid, they're really good. And like, because she was like, is there anything I can do to repay you? And he was like, well, it's kind of my job to like take care of everyone. But if you want to help out my kid, here's their stuff. Like, this is their music. And I was so young, so I didn't really have a portfolio or anything.
Yeah.
But she ended up like helping me out, and she introduced me to a producer in New York, Stanley Brown. He produced my first ever song in New York, and I like came out to New York, and it was like a great it was my first time in a studio, and it was all these dudes mixing, and it was so cool. And so I think that was a moment where I was like, whoa, like this feels big, you know. And I think since then I've kept going for the bigger things, you know.
It's a pretty great early
like 17, so I feel like it felt so wow.
Well, it feels defining,
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, I think break is tricky because sometimes it is a bunch of little ones.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that they're all
great.
Up to something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
but I think that moment was like, oh, I'm meant to be in the studio.
Yeah.
Like, this is so fun.
Well, okay, so this flows into my second question. You started playing violin at 4. You wrote your first song at 13. But when did you decide music was really your path?
That's a great question. Honestly, I think it was always so clear. Like, I was the kid that was doing singing battles at like 5, you know. Meet me in the parking lot.
Yeah.
No, like seriously, that is who I was. Like, so obnoxious, but it was always so clear to me and everyone around me that this person's always going to have music around them, and they're always going to be making music. I think once I wrote my first song, I remember the moments I would sing other people's songs all the time.
Sure.
Right? And do karaoke and sing along in the car and like do these voice lessons. But I was like, oh, can I get that next step of actually writing music? Because I think that really defines, the industry in a lot of ways.
That's actually when my music career ended. I couldn't write. I just didn't have the brain to do it.
Right.
So
but I mean, there's a space for that too, but I really wanted to see, which is great. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I wanted to be like a star,
and
I still do. And I think that was the next level for me. So the minute I was able to put, pen on paper, that was when I was like, oh,
yeah, that's when it felt like I've arrived.
I can do this, and I think so. Since that was at 13, I think I really knew that it was going to be a big part of my life, and it's always going to be my plan A. Like, I do other things, I work, and, but I prioritize music as much as humanly possible while still, being able to make money, survive.
I feel you there.
'Cause hot girls always win.
Thanks for listening to Emily Spins It, presented by the Indie Music Network and Not Dead Yet Media. This episode was produced by Heather de Armas and edited by me, Emily Mills. Our intro and outro music is Hot Girls Always Win by Really Blonde. If you've enjoyed the episode, please support the podcast by sharing, subscribing, and leaving a review. You can also follow the show on Instagram and YouTube at Emily Spins It. For more shows about breaking through the noise, head over to the Indie Music Network podcast. If you have questions or feedback, contact us at notdeadyetmedia.com/contact.